Yo, what's going on, guys? And today, of course, we'll be doing our off-season recap of the Boston Celtics. This is a team that, obviously, with the Jason Tatum Achilles injury, T's and P's to him and his family. I will be saying that as we go back. Sorry, I didn't mean to click, but I wanted to say that I don't think they're throwing in the towel. What I do believe is whatever goes. This is a gap year. If they make the playoffs, awesome. They develop guys, they get to see who's worth it, and they gear up for Tatum to come back. Tatum, I think moving forward is going to be like a pure four combo forward. Some lineups will play the three, but I think they're going to run him a lot more at the four moving forward, which like it's not like he was like a reliant guy, but they were able to turn Drew Holiday's contract into Anthony Simons, a microwave scorer guy who's able to play, 22 points per game. And sorry, I don't. And I also meant that George Niang right here was another guy that they traded for, and he's signed, not signed, to a 2-year, $16 million deal that's actually an expiring deal. And both of those players are on this roster currently to be flipped or to expire. As a big problem with Anthony Simons was there was a considerable gap between him and the Portland Trailblazers when it came to their contract negotiations. And George Niang, the minivan guy who actually is from the area, who fits what this team needs, is a little bit not in the timeline. Like he'll be more valuable for a team that's probably contending. Regardless if he wants to stay there or not, they maybe even extend him and keep him around. But the fact that he had signed last year to a 2-year deal, then got himself dealt, and because he had been extended on a 2-year deal with the Cavaliers. Cavaliers then send him to the Hawks. Hawks enjoyed him, but then he gets sent for the Porzingis deal that sent Porzingis to the Hawks and George Niang to the Celtics, with Terrence Mann going to the Nets. So they brought themselves Hugo Gonzalez, who was originally a point guard in his early years of development, and also he grew to 6'6", super intense guy, great defender, can play the 1, 2, or 3. They're probably going to develop him more as a swingman, wing type guy. Who really the one question that holds is he going to be able to be a shot creator or a shooter at any level? We haven't seen that yet. Max Shulga was someone that they drafted as well, who I love, the Ukrainian out of Kyiv. He's going to be a great guy who's a combo forward with combo guard with some point guard like skills. And then the Englishman, Amari Williams, played at Drexel for a few years, then goes to Kentucky. They did great. They brought in Hayden Guard, and they also have Miles Norris, who they're both probably going to be playing again for the G League, the main Celtics, which is fine. And look, I love Josh Minot, who they take a flyer on him. He's been buried the last few years on the Timberwolves depth. He's a guy who's a great defender, can play the 2 or 3, has the size to play the 4 or to defend the 4. Luka Garza is the Luke Cornett replacement. He is massive. The Bosnian American who's got some passing chops, can rebound, can score. He can do a litany of things. And the question has always been, can he play defense? And 2 former Minnesota Timberwolves players brought here. I think these are 2 players who are going to be able for this squad to take a flyer on. And I really do think this is the type of deal that you want to see, as the rest of the squad looks like they're going to run with Neemias Queta, who I very much enjoy. Neemias Queta, Luka Garza, and Xavier Tillman especially, as well as Amari Williams being another guy there that I kind of like that too. And again, this is just going to be a season where clearly development will be the theme, and just getting guys reps. And this is a team that, yes, they have a lot of perimeter defense, they have a lot of shooting, and there's some size on this team that realistically, with a good coach like Joe Mazzulla that we know he is, they could be a team that ends up competing and being a part of a playoff run that surprises people. Because yes, they're not as good as they were, and they're missing Jason Tatum, but there's still Jaylen Brown and Derek White. Jordan Walsh is going into year 3, but year 2 breakout is what I would call it. And as he was someone that his first year didn't play at all. And yes, he won a championship in his first year, but going into his second year in the rotation. And what I mean is, look, his first year in the NBA, he played 9 games. Second year, he played 52 games. So year 2 rotation player. Expect him to shoot better than 36% from the field. Expect him to be able to take stuff. Baylor Shireman, ready, hopefully. I know he had a rough summer league, but summer league means nothing. These are 2 guys that expect them to contribute. Sam Hauser, Payne Pritchard, 2 guys that went ahead. And this was the depth chart that we have right here. Derek White, Anthony Simons, Jaylen Brown, George Niang, Neemias Queta, Luka Garza, Jordan Walsh, Baylor Shireman, Sam Hauser, Payne Pritchard, Max Shulga, Hugo Gonzalez, Josh Minot, Miles Norris is on a 2-way. Jason Tatum's expected to be out for the entire year. Xavier Tillman, Amari Williams, Hayden Gray, and Hayden Gray could also be a 2-way guy. I expect them to get another guy on a 2-way who will, I know Shulga, I believe, is the other guy right now. So Hayden Gray could be that third guy. And they might bring one more guy. They've been a team that typically likes to ride 14 guys deep. So I think roster-wise, they're near what they think will be the finished product. So to me, I want to hear your guys' thoughts. What do you guys think of this team as they've put together a decent squad for being a gap year? Tatum is out for the season. Yes, he's this supermax, and they're able to stay below the aprons, as this is a squad that I want to pull up the exact cap sheet number. They're able to avoid with the Porzingis and the Drew Holiday deal. This put them as a whole. And they also, by the way, have a trade exception of 22.5 from Kristaps Porzingis and 4.7 from Drew Holiday, while still having $5.68 million in the taxpayer mid-level exception. So kudos to them, snaps all around, where they're able to go ahead and have that. So we're going to pull up their payroll. I believe they're like at 190. So their total salary is 205. So they're actually below the second apron, are a first apron team. Total salary, technically with like the dead cap and stuff, or I'm looking at 205 with Jordan Walsh, Neemias Queta, Josh Minot, Xavier Tillman, Luka Garza, Baylor Shireman, Hugo Gonzalez, Payne Pritchard, George Niang, Sam Hauser, Anthony Simons, Derek White, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. Yeah, that's 205 right there, ladies and gentlemen. And they could bring back a Torrey Craig, which I've always thought. And they do get hit with the luxury tax. But this is a squad that has a few questions. If they keep Simons, will that offset Holiday's defense? And do they have enough players to offset the defensive loss? Will their boys in Sam Hauser, George Niang be enough shooting? Is there enough Baylor Shireman? Like, do they have enough shooting? And can some of these rookies crack into the rotation to help relieve some of this workload for Derek White and Jaylen Brown? Like, this team has some questions. But the new guys, Luka Garza, Jordan Walsh, the vets, Neemias Queta, and Sam Hauser, Payne Pritchard, Derek White, all be able. Like, this is a team that I think could be the 6th seed, if not a play-in team, I think, at worst. So that's basically going to be it, guys. What did you guys think of this offseason? Let me know your thoughts. Ciao.